Greetings! I present Studio 3 Editor module of the Rekin system. 3D Editor Lights. In the previous episodes we have discussed Scene and Camera tabs. Now we go to Light tab. Then new objects will appear in our set that facilitate our work with setting up lights. They will not be visible when working live in the production module. 5 lights can be set in the set design, as we can see in the list available on the right. It is not possible to add, clone or remove the lights. After leaving the wizard, the lights are set to their default values, just like at this moment. I will select the first light, labeled Ambient. In the case of this light, we cannot change its type to a different one. It is a non-directional dispersed light. It illuminates all the stage elements in the same way. It doesn't create shadows. As a parameter, we can modify the intensity of this light, its power, in the range of 0 to 2. By default, after leaving the wizard, this value is set to 1. We change the light's name with a double click on the item in the list. First, I will set all the lights' color value to 000, which means I will turn the remaining lights off. We will immediately see that some of the materials used in the set, such as white stripes, are still highly visible. These are specific emission materials. We can additionally light them up, but they will still be visible when we turn the lights off. Let's select the second light. We can set any color on the wheel. The second default type of light is a directional light. Such light falls from a specific direction, not from a specific position. Even though this object is by default located at the point x0, y3, z0. It doesn't mean this is a physical position of this light. We can imagine that this is a certain infinite plane, which rays fall in parallel with a specific direction on all the objects, like the light of the sun. A direction vector of this light can be set with x, y, z controls. Since it doesn't have a position, its move and scale controls are disabled. This light differentiates scene illumination. Its distinctive feature is that it creates shadows. When we modified the light's direction, the shadows of the objects on which it falls also change. Let's select this light. We change its type to point. Such light propagates from a point equally in all directions. It has a position in the form of 3 coordinates, x, y, z. We can change its position with available pivots. It has a color of the light that can be set with color control. Its intensity decreases with a distance from the source. We adjust it with 3 attenuation controls. If we set the light closer to one of the walls, we can see that this wall will be more illuminated than the one located further from the source. For this kind of light, there is no reference in the real world. Its distinctive feature is that it doesn't create shadows on objects. We will now change this light's type to spot. It is a point source of light with a limited emission range. It is defined with 2 cones. Inside the inner cone, light emission is at its full intensity. Between the cones, gradual attenuation. Outside the cones, no light. It has a position in the form of 3 coordinates x, y, z. We use 3 pivots on the preview. It also has a direction defined by x, y, z vector. After changing the display mode, movement pivots appear. Its distinctive feature is that it creates shadows for the objects. I will now describe the steps of setting lights in such a studio. I suggest setting the lights in the order of the list. It is best to name a light straight away on the basis of the type selected from the list. The first one that we will use is point. We will choose a point light instead of directional light for aesthetic reasons. Point light is distributed on the objects evenly in all directions depending on the distance. A three-dimensional effect is then created. We set its color. We move the light into the center of the studio. Subsequently, we change the attenuation values depending on the expected effect of illumination of nearby and distant objects. We adjust the color of the light. We have illuminated other elements of the studio. For the ease of use, we immediately change the name on the list since we have used point light. We select the second light. It will be a spot type light, a spotlight. For now, we set a random color for it. We change its position using pivots, for example, over the right figure of the talent facing down. We can see a truss object along with spotlight objects, so we create a light beam for such an object. We also change the angle of the light beam. Finally, we set the color of the light. What remains is to adjust the inner and outer cone of light. We remember to change the name on the list to, let's say, Spotlight. We will now use the third light. We set a random color for now. The falling light direction also facing down. It will also be a spotlight. We will place it above the central talent and set the direction in which it will create shadows. As it is a central part of the studio, we can set a wider radius of the cone. We adjust the inner and outer radius. Finally, we set the desired color of the light. We assign it a name in the list. We will now set the last light. We change its direction to face downwards. As a type, we also assign spot. We pick the color of our interest. The light object will be positioned above the talent on the left. We create a shadow by adjusting the light's direction. Finally, we set the color of the light to match its surroundings. We assign it a name in the list. We see the final effect of the illuminated studio set design. Thank you.
Wrecking. Keen on record.